Well, practice is going really well. Yeah, it's been great to finally have our whole roster back and be able to practice. We've broken this down, in prep for the weekend and the tournament. We've kind of gone in 4 day stints where we practice really hard, 2 of the 3 days, and then the fourth day is a day off. So we just completed the second cycle of that yesterday with our last scrimmage set in practice, and we'll take today off, and then we got 2 days to prep for Wilmington. So it's been, like I said, it's been really nice just to have everybody back in the gym and be able to try to get ourselves back to some rhythm and pay attention to detail on both ends of the floor. Well, we actually haven't even talked a ton about the tournament setting yet because so much of the last week of practice for us has just been us getting our base back and getting our rhythm back on both ends. We started to talk about it just briefly at the end of practice yesterday. When we head into practice on Thursday, we'll have much more of a focus of what we need to do to play in a tournament environment. And, the big things that we'll talk about there is the amount of effort and focus that we really need to make sure we play with on the defensive end. And then offensively, it's about being able to just play loose and play with confidence and execute on that end of the floor. Yeah, it'll definitely be different. Obviously, without the fans or the very limited fans, won't be near the atmosphere that you're used to having in a game. But we've been experiencing that all season long. Whether we playing at home or on the road, there's been just obviously limited fans everywhere. So I would guess once the ball tips, it's probably going to be a lot like what it's been like this season, where you just kind of forget about all the external factors, and you're playing in a tournament game, and the emotion will still be there, the passion, the effort that guys play with will probably all be the same, and there just won't be as many people in the building to witness it or make noise for us. Well, the biggest thing that we're focusing on heading in is just playing with the right effort level, the right focus and toughness level on the defensive end. I think we've really got to be able to execute on that end of the floor. It's hard to win any games in March if you don't do a great job defensively, and it's really hard to win multiple games on consecutive days if you don't do it. So that's a huge focus for us. And then, like I said, on the offensive end, we just tried to get ourselves back to some rhythm. I thought we were starting to play really well late January, and then obviously we had the pause, and that really hurt our rhythm on offense. So just getting back to the comfort level on that end of the floor, as I mentioned, playing with confidence and making those simple plays. So those will be some things that we'll really focus on as we head into the tournament play. Yeah, in addition to the uniqueness of the environment at the tournament, it's going to be the fact that we didn't play Wilmington during the regular season, which is completely different. But between the two programs, we're going to have played a combined 3 games in the month of February. So obviously, both of us are in different places than a lot of other teams in our league in terms of the amount of games we've been able to play as of late. They're a really talented and athletic group. They play a lot of small lineups. They space the floor well. They really get to the basket, really get to the foul line well on offense. Have a number of guys that can just take the ball and go make a play. So we've got to make sure that we can really own our individual matchups and then be able to help and shrink the floor where we need to. Defensively, they play a unique style. They'll switch everything 1 through 5 on the ball and off the ball. So that's not something that we're accustomed to playing against. So certainly, been working on that in practice and getting ourselves ready to face that. But they pose a lot of unique challenges just with their personnel and style of play. And then, as you mentioned, not having a chance to play against them during the regular season. Watching Luke have the success that he's had has been one of the best things about being able to coach here. With the sophomore year that he had, to watch him bounce back and have a junior year like he did with the production that he had, the way he plays on the defensive end is phenomenal. And now as a senior, I mean, he's just been better on both ends of the floor, as hard as it is to believe. He's a guy that's been able to take the ball and go make plays for us when we need to, still plays within his game and is playing really efficiently on that end of the floor, and then continues to set the tone for us on the defensive end. He's guarding the other team's best perimeter player every night. And, he just embodies everything that we want to be about. And to watch him have this success over the last couple of years has been really fun to see. Yeah, Connor's emergence this year has been incredible. Heading into the year, we knew what we were getting, or we thought we knew what we were getting in terms of the type of person he is, and the character and the values he was going to bring to our program. He's an incredibly hard worker. He's a great communicator. He's really tough. He's got great focus in terms of wanting to improve as a player. Where he's probably surprised us has been with the production that he's had this year, and the way he just continues to get better and better. A lot of credit for that goes to him and his commitment to wanting to improve and finding ways he can improve as a player. And a lot of that credit goes to our assistant coaches, who spend a ton of time in the gym with all of our players, watching film with them, and to watch Connor emerge as he has this year has certainly been great to see, and a large reason that we've been able to have some success. Yeah, I think it's really exciting to have an opportunity to play in March and get a chance to go compete in our conference tournament. I think that, at the beginning of the season, somebody asked me, "What's a successful season look like?" And I remember the first thing I said is the opportunity to complete it and compete in our conference tournament at the end of the season. And I think that any team that's gone through the season would feel the same way. Um, this is the best time of year if you're a basketball fan. We are super excited for the opportunity to go compete in the CAA tournament, and really look forward to getting up there and see what we can do. Well, you're right. This has been a really challenging season for all the student athletes because of how many restrictions and guidelines and protocols are in place for them to follow. And it's not just as it pertains to being an athlete, but there's a lot that goes into just being a student. And this is a totally different year for everybody, um, and you can see that. I think what it's done for us in our program is just reaffirmed the kind of character that the guys in this program have. They really care about being good at basketball. They really want to excel in basketball, and at the same time, they're able to step back and have perspective and a dose of reality that there's a global pandemic going on, and we've said this all along. If the greatest challenge or the worst thing that happens to us is we got to miss a few basketball games or some practices or being quarantined, then we're all pretty fortunate. And our guys have done a great job of taking that perspective when it's needed, and at the same time continuing to commit themselves to being really really good basketball players and really competitive. And that blend, I think, has been really important for us throughout this whole season. Yeah, I think that the statement of expect the unexpected is probably the best one for this. And partly because I'm not sure everybody knows what to expect. Typically this time of year, you're looking at teams that have had great years or teams that are playing really well heading into the tournament, and it's really hard to determine that right now because there's obviously been some teams that have had some really nice years, but the years have been so unbalanced because some teams have played more home games, some teams have played more league games than others, and there's just it's really hard because the sample size for everybody is different. So, I think that heading into this thing, it's going to be about which team can find their rhythm and play the right way and probably have the ball bounce their way a couple of times. And um, I think this is as open of a tournament as I can remember being a part of since being in college coaching, and I think that's going to make for a really fun weekend.